This is That Comic Smell podcast, featuring your hosts,
David Robertson,
Fernando Pons,
Giuseppe Lambertino,
Mike Sadaka,
and Tom Stewart. Folks, if you want the juice or coffee or anything like that,
chocolate tea.
that chocolate tea's in the pot.
I finished my Coke first, Tom.
Aye, no worries. Nando,
I
you
found,
the juice, please.
British Spider-Man and
Do people have a preference for which mug they choose? I know some of you probably do.
I do.
Which one?
Can't mind.
The hard one is.
David, did you suggest? Was it you?
Yeah.
Did you suggest Justice League?
Yeah.
Well in, man. I didn't.
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shall I just spin these? Or does anybody want the last feature? Mike,
I'll take one. I don't want to see
your
them
ears
go
are
to
twitching
waste.
now.
Don't want to see things go to waste, so I'll.
They're just going in the bin.
No, they
You
won't
get
go in.
sense.
Anyone else?
No, you go.
Alright,
No, one each.
thank you.
That was the pleasure helping you with that.
I appreciate that. I think.
Leave it up. You can't let good chips go to waste.
No. Wow, everyone's got a copy. So I'm like the dunce here. I'd never even read it. Yeah, everyone's got a copy of.
Justice
League.
League. Yes.
I've always still got mine on the old tablet.
Oh, okay.
I think before you
really?
do anything,
Oh,
before you
mind
do
you, I've
anything,
read
the
it.
most
I thought
important
it-
question is how on earth did a character like Guy Gardner become an honourable Green Lantern? I think that's the most
Not
important
honourable,
question.
no.
Well, dishonourable.
Green
Have you
Lantern.
got one to begin
Dishonourable
with?
either. It's a Green Lantern. It's a pain in the ass, but it's a Green Lantern, yeah. Well, he used to be a dick, really. And he behaved like one for a while.
Yep. He's even got the bowl. He's even got the bowl cut to match.
So this was 1987 revamp of Justice League. Had been Justice League of America. So when it started again, it was just called Justice League when it started, and used to be difficult to get the first issue of new series back then. But for some reason, this one got through, and it was in newsagents in town. And there it was.
Oh.
And of course they're on the front and it's like, we are the new Justice League.
When
And
you
that's
said
striking
you
cover.
soft comics.
Yeah, usually things would start appearing around about issue 4 or something. And you'd miss the start. But this one for some reason got through. In fact, something must have been going on in 1987 because the first Hellblazer as well turned up at a regular shop. But yeah, Justice League and
So you were there at the start.
yeah, I picked it up and just thought it was great. And this artist, Kevin Maguire, I wasn't aware of him before this.
No.
And it was just so good. He just
Yeah, I enjoyed the art.
he gets all those facial expressions.
Yeah. He's definitely not, what's his name, Preacher. Dylan.
Dylan.
Oh, what
The funny faces.
Dylan, yeah. And it's kind of intriguing. The first issue was intriguing. There was that mystery, wasn't there? And there's somebody behind it all. The kind of terrorist attack, but this mysterious person in the background seems to know about it and be pulling the strings. Maxwell Lord. Yeah, it was good. And then I don't remember it even occurring to me. I mean, I knew that the Justice League of America used to be like Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and that. And well, Batman's in it, but I don't remember looking at that and going, "Oh, none of the Justice League are in it." You know, I don't remember thinking that. Maybe because it said here the new Justice League, I just went, "Okay, you're the new Justice League," you know. And of course, those
You
guys.
took that word
I
for
just
it.
went, "Okay, yeah." And it was quite threatening sort of cover, you know. They're sort of looking at you. It wasn't a stand. I don't remember a cover like that, you know, where they're all looking at you, going, "What's your problem?" You know.
Batman's growling at you.
Yeah. And those other characters, as you'll know now, are in it as you go along. Like Superman does turn up, and Wonder Woman's in, maybe not in this, but she's in Justice League Europe.
Yeah, she's not in that, but she's in that.
So they're all kind of there. And like Mr. Miracle, I'd read his comics before anyway, so I was aware of him back in the day. John Jones was always in the Justice League. And
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I like Manhunter.
it's still...
It's quality.
I still think they read really well. I'm sure nostalgia plays into it, but I think they're really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what they did, when people talk about this series now, it tends to be like, oh, that was the funny Justice League. And there is definitely humour in it, but I thought they set up at the start really well that we're the Justice League, we're not messing about. This is what the Justice League is now. We're looking at you off the cover, we're going to beat you up. You know, we're tough. And then the humour started coming in. So by the time it got, some of the stories were more silly as it went on. But no, I was already on board. I didn't care anyway. So, I mean, you haven't read it at all, Giuseppe. What did you think? 30 years too late. But
I'm right there with you. I hadn't read it either.
oh, you've not read it either.
No.
You've read it.
I kept meaning
Oh,
to.
yeah.
No, you.
I read it in
first.
Spain when it came out in, I think it was, into 88.
Yeah.
You read the entire run now?
I bought them all as they came out.
Yeah.
Me too.
I bought it every month.
So how many issues is there? Like
60.
Yeah.
60 issues of that series, and then there was other annuals as well.
Yeah.
Would you say it's as good all the way through? Did you enjoy it all the way through?
Actually, yeah, it was, but they started having like crossovers and things. That's when it was at that time that kind of thing was
I already noticed that at the start of Volume 2, which I just started the other day, that in that intervening period,
something's happened.
Is that when it starts going into Europe?
There was like
there's
Millennium.
been something going on with something else. I
Yeah.
don't know. They're
So I
talking
was
about
just-
Guardians of the Galaxy or something like
I think the Millennium crossover was then, and that kind of thing. And so
Yeah.
you just have to learn to ignore that, you know.
Just
Like,
get
something's
back to
happened,
doing
but
your
who
good
cares? You know,
stories.
just keep reading it. And they had and when it split to Justice League Europe, got a series as well later on. So there was 2 series running along. And funnily enough, I thought, well, I'll try Justice League Europe, but I didn't like it. So I never bought Justice League Europe. But they were always crossing over between each other and talking about stuff. And I was never reading the other one because it was Bart Sears. I didn't really like his art.
Did it affect your reading?
It affected that I didn't know half of what was going on.
Do they not cross over now that they're in the trades though? Do they not put
Oh, yeah.
them together in the
Yeah,
trades?
they're just
yeah,
all collected together.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, and I did go back and buy all the Justice League Europes anyway, because I had to, because I thought, well, you know.
Well, it's
Why
also quite important if you want to read the series, because towards the end of the series, that let's say the last part of the series called Breakdowns.
Yeah.
Each episode is one episode of Justice League America, one episode of Justice League Europe, one episode of Justice America, Europe. So it goes back, and so it's from the reading point of view. Yeah. And that, I remember when I was reading that part of Breakdowns, and as I was approaching the end, and I knew I was approaching the end because obviously we were a year later, and the news, they were telling you, you know, this was
Okay,
it's only a
that's
few months
interesting.
later, and as I was reading, I thought, oh, I'm getting quite sad about this. I'm enjoying this, and this is going to stop. And I was getting worried about, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And then that was it, it finished. I thought,
I hate that feeling.
Yeah,
it was, because I did, as Dave did, I mean, I bought every single issue in the shop, in the newsagents, as it came out in Spain. So I have all of them in my mom's
Spanish?
house. Yeah, I have all of them in my mom's house.
Yeah.
I bought this to have a copy here, some copies here. I have the first 3 books, I think, because they were relatively cheap. So I think I have a copy here in Scotland, but the actual comics, I have all of them in my mom's house.
Did I see that?
Yeah.
So that's
You know, it's funny, because
But yeah, I was
breakdowns you're talking about, it was even stupider in a way.
Oh yeah, it was
The way
stupid.
No, but the way I ended it was stupid, because I can't exactly remember why, but I was getting breakdowns, and I must have thought to myself, right, I'll read that when it's all done or something. You know, I wasn't keeping up with it, so I wasn't reading the letters page, and I didn't know it was going to end. Right? I thought they were going to do breakdowns and then carry on. So it and I remember being at my pal's house, and for some reason I missed issue 60 in the shop. Right? So then I went and got issue 61 and 62, and I was up at my pal's house, and they weren't into comics, and they were like, you know, you still reading that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, but this is Justice League, you know, this is the stuff. And I went and read it, and he's reading it, and I'm going, you don't like it? No. And so I'm reading it, and it was immediate. It was like page 1, 2, and I was like, someone's not right here. And I just turned to the front, and it was like no Giffen-DeMatteis. It was like other people doing it now, and it was just, oh my god! I was stunned. You know, they'd stopped it, and I hadn't noticed. Oh god! But then I did go back and read all the breakdowns, and it's probably not the best storyline, but it does finish it.
But it finished it. Yeah.
It does finish it.
They finish all the little threads that were around,
But we're getting ahead.
and there's humour as you go along as well.
Yeah,
But this is chippy.
So is that
Episode
5
as well.
volumes?
More than that.
I
I
don't
thought
know
it
what
was
5 or 6. Perhaps.
I don't think they've collected the
I'm not sure they
the
collected
breakdowns.
everything.
Ending.
6.
Right.
6.
But yeah.
Yeah, so there's a. But did you like it, Tom?
Yeah,
How much have you read of it, Tom, now? How much have you read?
I've only read the first volume. I never got on to the second.
Right.
First 7 issues.
I read.
There's Superman. Yeah.
I read volume 1.
So 8 when it becomes just
Went on to read volume 2, but never got there.
Right.
But I enjoyed all the when the other heroes from the other dimension come into it, the other universe. I thought that was quite interesting. That was just at the end of the sort of Cold War time as well.
Yeah.
So it was very, very timely.
Well, it was 1987.
Yeah, that is very of its time.
Yeah,
Reading
but
that.
it was
Really
good
kind
to
of-
read. It was good to read because it just felt. I feel like we've had this discussion before that I kind of caught the tail end of that time, so it kind of just felt that time more. So I kind of felt like a wee bit of reading. But it was really good. It was good to see is it Creeper?
Creeper,
Yeah.
You don't see
He's a
Creeper
bit
a lot.
ambiguous. Is he like, what's the deal with him?
There's a couple of
It's
different
Batman.
origins.
What is he? Like, good,
Well,
bad? What is it? A
No
bit
one
on the
knows.
fence?
It's both. He can be
It's
both.
It's crazy.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolute mental.
I always remember the Creeper from the Batman animated series.
I think that one
He
had his
was-
origins with the Joker.
Yeah, he was good. He was good in that though. So seeing him pop up in this, it was it was right up my alley.
I don't think
It was
I've
good.
ever come across him.
I can see where they're going for with like the humour and everything, but I took a lot of the serious aspects from it
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
It was really good.
But that's the thing about it. When it came out, first, as Dave said, is the artist, J.M. Maguire. I certainly never saw him before anything else. It was new. It was different. Not so much on action, but certainly the expressions. He got that completely nailed. And then Giffen and DeMatteis, the writers, there were constant puns, the to and fro, jokes, but at the same time there was the dramatic, serious things going on as well.
Yeah.
But other than the humor there, and it was so different.
Because in the context this came out, it was when DC had done Crisis on Infinite Earths and Legends and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
I noticed
So they
that.
rebooted the whole universe, and they were restarting all the series. It was the first time they did it. So like you were getting a new Superman 1 and a new Wonder Woman 1, and so this was like the
I
new
missed
Justice
all
League
that.
one.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal at the time to restart it. You thought, I mean, now they do it like every 6 months.
Yeah.
But at that time there was
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah, that
big,
was
big thing.
they're saying it at the start, isn't it? As they're all coming into the building.
Yeah.
They say it's the first time you've seen the Justice League since the big event or something like that.
Yeah,
It's-
And what they
it's-
on about?
did
Crisis
Crisis or
on
something,
Infinite.
yeah.
Yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
In
Which was when?
1980, 586.
See, I went
DC.
to Italy in 1986, and that's why I missed all
At that
this.
point, DC that has been publishing superhero comics for 40 odd years. They had a huge universe of continuity that did not continue, did not match. They had many things. They had a Justice League or a Justice Society from the Second World War. They had the Justice League. They had a Superman from the from the Second World War. They had Superman now, and there were duplicates of characters. There was duplicates of Wonder Woman, Batman. There were many things going on.
Right.
So, in a very radical way, they decided we need to tidy up all this, and we need to start at scratch. But let's do a big epic thing, and give an explanation for it. And that's how appeared Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
They have Marv Wolfman as the main writer, and George Perez, he's the artist, with Jerry Orway as well, he's there. And every single character of the universe, of this universe, and we're talking about hundreds and hundreds, appear in that 12 mini-series, 12 episode mini-series. And that, it was
good? Is it good? Or...
It's good. From the superhero point of view, it's good.
Right.
I mean, it's no Watchmen, it's no The Killing Joke, but it's from a big crossover superhero, yeah, it's good. And it's one that, you know, from there, everything else kind of copy them.
Right, okay.
So that was, if you call it a 0 year where everything started again.
Right.
Then Superman started again, and from zero, as you were saying, and the Justice League, etc., etc. And it was just a new start. But now they're doing it every 6 months everywhere.
Run away from
And the good thing is, you know, you don't have to know any of that to read this.
No,
You can
exactly.
just enjoy
But
it.
that was
nice.
that,
Yeah, I really-
that was the big event.
That's the background, but you don't need to know any of it.
I think that's also why I enjoyed it, is that it was just a nice
Yeah, it's
standalone series. It
Yeah.
was good. It was good. It was good just to read something that kind of washed over, but was very enjoyable at the same point.
The good thing that I liked as well from it when it started, and it was intentional, obviously. If you look back, it's well, obvious. It was intentional to have more free realm. They use secondary characters. Okay, appears Batman here, but he only appears for 3 episodes. But his appearance is certainly just circumstantial, and then he leaves. And Superman appears as well in an episode, and Wonder Woman. But Blue Beetle, Guy Gardner, Martian Manhunter, Black Canary, this Dr. Light, which was a new Dr. Light. They were all secondary characters, really.
Yeah.
But
There were no big guns at all.
Yeah.
That was many decades ago. But Captain was Sam. Sorry, you can say Captain Marvel.
yeah.
It was a big gun, you know, in the 40s, but certainly not anymore.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a pseudo copy of Superman. I never gave it a really important need in this universe.
Wasn't even really
No.
DC's either.
Mr. Miracle, appeared with the Jack Kirby comics, but since then really didn't have very much. So it was all secondary characters really. And suddenly, you know, it's kind of in some way they say
At the time, then, was it received well?
Oh yeah.
It was an incredible success from.
There's a
They
reason
picked up on
it
it.
lasted 60 issues and not 10. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, I think I suppose DC went to Giffen and DeMatteis and Maguire and said, look, guys, just do what you need to do. Just do whatever you want, kind of thing. And
also, it was at that time. This was when we were right at Watchmen and Batman Year One and that. Like these things were just come out. This was the new great way to do superheroes. And everybody was well into that, and it was all dark. And then this,
and they went the other way around.
And it was like
They were completely opposite. They said
so against the game
because they went. Everyone is going very serious. We're gonna go completely opposite, and that's what they did. They went. So that we're gonna put humor, we're gonna put jokes, puns.
Yeah,
we're
now
gonna
that you put it
make
in that context,
faces.
I think it was when Todd McFarlane was doing Spider-Man as well, and they were really popular at that time.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big guns in Marvel were active at the same time. I've got to admit though, I read this last week.
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it.
So were you a virgin too?
To Justice League International, yeah. although I did experiment when I was younger by watching Justice League the cartoon and thought I've got to read the comics at some point. There are some funny references to a C word in there as well. I don't know if any of you guys caught that in
I did.
some
yeah.
humour.
I wondered.
Humour
yeah.
off the board, sort of. Or the bit where Batman
That
knocks
bit-
out Guy Gardner with a single punch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
What's the one?
It was the Maxwell Lord bit.
I presume it was Kant they were meaning, but
Oh,
it's,
right.
Oh right.
I
But
presume-
that's
is it?
such a weird
Which-
joke. that I
Don't
did
know.
always wonder about that.
Why does it
I
rhyme?
should
or
have
you just
marked
think
it out.
It's
I
Maxwell
should have
Lord
marked
talking
this
to
out.
the.
Yeah, a reference to him, I think.
No, and he's like, file him under C or something.
Yeah, that's
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh gosh.
Then it is.
Who says that? Batman?
no.
I read that in Spanish.
It
Oh,
is.
right.
I can't remember where it is, but
It is American, so it could be like cock or cockbag or something like that.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, cocksucker or
There was one wee thing that
Cad.
did get to me though. One of the main
What a
villains.
cad.
One of the main villains just didn't really interest me that
Oh, the
much.
Grey
He had
Man.
a fantastic
Grey Man.
origin, but
yeah,
the Grey Man as he is there
he's miserable.
just
isn't
doesn't have the charisma to be like a
That's-
real.
I think
cool
that was,
villain.
that was about the only bit that I didn't enjoy.
he? The Grey Man.
Was the whole bit with the Grey Man and
Yeah, it's like that guy with yellow metal mask, just like let him kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Just kind of.
I don't
I
know.
suppose that's it, though, isn't it? Fate. He's
Yeah.
allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
Just like, just
I
fucking
know what you
finish
mean.
it.
And then
dude.
he does kind of go, right, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'll let you go on with this
Yeah.
long enough.
It's like, oh.
And then and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know if I'm a fan of Doctor Fate overall.
I mean,
Never
what's
really-
what's
Bit like
the
Doctor
deal with Doctor
Strange.
Fate?
I think he's DC's version
Very
of Doctor Strange. I
powerful,
think
Yeah, I just
same sort of powers.
Oh, really?
He's extremely powerful, but as you saw there, he's quite
Undefined.
reluctant.
but it's just one of them, isn't it? Just holds out till the last minute. Right, enough. Yeah, I'm done. I've
That's
saved
fine.
it. See you later. And I'm kind of like,
Okay.
I find that boring
Yeah, exactly. That's
because
yeah.
they could just, they could just wrap it up,
I was
and they're just
disappointed
drawing it
with
out to
that
the
Do you
point
not
where
think
they're
that
like,
did come about in that one panel where Dr. Fate does finally say something like,
yeah, he's like,
and that undercuts all the drama. Like,
Yeah.
what's all
Yeah.
this been about then?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
there was no point to it. The only bit that I really enjoyed about that whole thing was seeing,
The zombies.
yeah,
That's it,
basically.
funny enough.
Seeing Shazam all grey. That was
Yeah.
But yeah, effectively, yeah, there's only
Who's Shazam? Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain
Yeah.
Marvel says that.
Do you know, the only bit I enjoy is all of it. Even if the story's stupid. And I
Yeah,
think that's why it always works, even when they get some enforced on them, some crossover. And you're like, what's going on here now? It doesn't even seem to matter because we're off again, and it's the characters are all having their banter.
like I say, it was just
The
it was
banter's
just the
really
Grey Man
good.
and Doctor
Yeah.
Fate. Everything else that was going on was fine.
In fact, it doesn't really last long, this lineup on the front, because
No, not at all.
he's gone as well soon.
He goes by the
Black
end.
Canary, she doesn't.
No, she stays, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's just days.
Yeah,
the
to
long
the
run.
end of this. I
Doctor-
think Sony's got another couple issues though, and then she shoots off.
Alright, Doctor Light
Like,
like,
fine.
away from the start. I don't even know why she's on the front. In her,
She helps
in her
him.
garb as
She
well.
helps in the story. doesn't
Yeah,
she?
she
And-
never
and-
puts that helmet on.
In her garb, she's never in her garb.
She's quite a good character
It's-
as well. She could have been in it more.
It's to
I like
appease
that.
the.
And then they bring
Not that type.
Fire and Ice
Yeah, Fire and Ice later.
because
on,
Doctor Fate and Black Canary, but Fire and Ice come. So
and they've already
I
got
thought it was Captain
pushed them.
Atom.
and Captain Atom as
Atom,
well.
Yeah.
I own up to being a
Booster.
big Barda fan. There's a bit where she
Oh, yeah.
loses her temper and
On the
smashes the phone.
Yeah, that's
Love
brilliant.
Barda.
Yeah.
She's terrific.
Does she ends up
Joining
Turn up
them
for a wee while,
eventually.
doesn't
Yeah,
she?
she appears.
Oh, her storyline's great.
I've not
Why, is she like Amazonian or something?
She's an alien. She was one of
Apocalypse.
Darkseid's,
Apocalypse is
Fantastic.
yeah, Apocalypse now.
I quite like Bristol Gold.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Never read a lot of his stuff, but
Yeah, I did a lot to
I think he's good. When he is in it, he's
Mm.
funny, he's charismatic, he's
I like how he
That's
seemed to be just starting out
I like
at that
him.
point.
yeah,
He gets introduced and half of them are more interested in squabbling with each other.
yeah.
And then there was the media on at them Just like in other comics, afterward they have the media as their enemy. I don't know if these were the first guys to really do that.
I mean, he does that with Booster ends up getting like stunned by them because they say over here, picture, and he's and he ends up getting knocked out. Well, he ends up getting a knock.
Royal Flush Gang appear.
Yeah, and they were good. Their appearance was good.
Yep.
That was unexpected.
That was all set up again by Maxwell Lord. The mysterious. Yeah, the red eyes, yeah.
That's in the original. The red eyes afterwards. That's how.
He's got an infection.
Not red eyes.
So do some of the characters come in later, like some of the supposed villains? Like, do the terrorists come back or out like that? I found myself that some of the villains weren't. It was quite ambiguous. Like some of them, I was like, oh, obviously not that despot that's trying to use the 3 years.
He appears again.
Despot.
Yeah.
He appears again.
But
Although
that guy that's fighting early on in the first or second issue, maybe the second issue, the one that takes over the UN.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of.
In the first issue, yeah.
Does he not get
I'm
killed?
like,
He's
yeah.
like, I'll blow up the bomb.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, you know, he's a bit. I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, but that was the thing though. They say that. They say he's got a lot of good points. He's just going the wrong way about it.
But I must admit, as a JLA virgin, I really enjoyed it.
I remember that panel there, like the dark one, and Batman's just looking at everything going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're so poorly trained, it's pathetic. I was reading that going, Batman, you know, that's harsh.
He was such a dick.
Yeah.
The whole way through it, I just thought, my God, Batman's such an asshole.
I
Like,
quite
I was
like
getting really annoyed.
Yeah, but
if you're an asshole like this, you need to read. You need to go back. I need to read Batman and the Outsiders with Jim Aparo, and he's an asshole. And here he's just being Batman.
Yeah.
That's how he's been planted into what's going on. What is this comedy effect going on? And in the end, he also every now and then there's a joke.
Yeah.
Like a word or two that Batman just drops.
That's when they say at one point, oh my God, did Batman just make a joke?
Yeah.
I think he just made a joke.
I think Batman did a joke. What?
I can understand, like, it was fine, but it just, I don't know, he just, compared to everybody else in it, he was just so,
He's kind of a
like,
straight man, isn't he?
yeah, he is. He's like, don't get me wrong, yeah, he is, but it was just like, fucking let up. Like, Jesus. He just keeps going.
But it would have been Batman then, you know.
Yeah, very true.
He has to be like that.
And you did have to have him there, because if Guy Gardner was being the way that he was, and Batman wasn't there,
exactly.
it would just be too much, and you wouldn't ever have any likability in the slightest, nothing for Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
But you have a slight bit just because he's getting on his nerves and he's going back at him, and they're just
You've
playing
got
against
that
each
bit where Mr. Miracle's sitting going, you can see why they don't get on, because they're both the same.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I'm going to leave if this guy's on.
Yeah.
The first two things that struck me was the humour and and like the ambiguous villains. But like as soon as the third page where Guy Gardner starts taking the mickey out of Oberon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is
It was
gonna
that
be
immediate.
good. He says, he says something like, oh, Sneezy, where have you left the other
That's
six
right.
wolves?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, what's the matter, Sneezy? The other 6 dwarfs couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But then that develops into Guy Gardner and Captain Marvel. That dynamic, I nearly pissed myself when
Captain White.
Because Captain Marvel really is a boy.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
And then he
When he makes the joke about the hot milk.
Yeah.
It's
well, this kid's and Captain White.
But that is a fantastic dynamic, and then the whole twist with that, how then, he helps him out. He helps
What's not to like
him
about
out.
that face?
Oh yeah, I know. But some of the exchanges are brilliant. The relationships are really good.
Yeah.
The writing's really good.
As the series goes along, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, they become the comedy duo, the double act. Abbott and Costello, Blue Beetle and then Booster Gold.
Yeah, because Blue Beetle's quite funny in this way. It's like, I'm always fucking having to pilot this thing. Not to like get stuck in to the action and stuff.
When he's sitting there like almost falling asleep.
Well, I like this bit where Batman sees the battle going on. He says, "What the hell?" And he walks through the brawl. He says, "Leave it to me." He says,
Sì, tanto fede sono about to
He just walks up to Guy Gardner and says, "Sit down."
Yeah.
Sit.
That's
It's
it. Done.
sit down.
I enjoyed that.
And then you see the three faces here, and it's incredible. It's just
Yeah.
three little parts going, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like,
Maybe not.
I think the comedy gets a bit weaker by the end of it. I think it starts really strong in volume 1, but then it starts well again in volume 2. I thought
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
few pages that I read of
Yeah.
that.
The moving
So,
yeah.
well, yeah, I thought it showed the period. The atomic weapons,
Yeah.
Russians, some supposed villains,
Fucking right. He's funny as
despots. Like them three from the other planet. I
Yeah.
thought they were good.
They were good. They were really good. I kept seeing their point as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I just said, look at it,
yeah.
they're right. Yeah, get rid of the weapons. Come on. I didn't understand why they kept like.
I didn't quite understand.
Yeah,
Can
no.
someone clarify for me what happened to Guy Gardner in that cabinet where he gets a head injury?
Oh,
Oh, then he sees a mouse, doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, and then what?
And then
Bangs
he
his
smashes
head.
his head.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And he's like, yeah.
Boom.
Right. So
And then when he wakes up, it's so
I didn't understand
nicey.
that. Yeah, I saw the mouse and I saw that he's like that, but I didn't quite understand that he's...
Yeah, I must have bit him. Or maybe he got a skull.
Yeah,
He got a
Something
skin
like
band his head on.
Yeah, the way that changes is funny as well. That could...
Because it's so nice.
Actually,
That's hilarious. It's
I
so
really
nice.
enjoyed it.
That's good because they've called in Hal Jordan. Somebody's
Yes.
called in Hal
Yeah.
Jordan because we're having too much trouble with Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
So by the time he arrives, Guy's on. Oh, nice to see
Yeah.
you.
He says, I think you guys
And
are alright.
do you know what? That's a good example of how this series continues following its own logic. Things follow on in a funny way. They've done that, and you can almost feel them sitting going, well, what if we get Hal to come? But by then he's turned and it's too late anyway. Because Hal just kind of goes like, oh, right then, and leaves, eh?
Yeah, everything's alright.
Yep, everyone's okay, I guess.
The plots are really organic,
There's the
as it
one.
goes on.
The one character Batman's got a lot of respect for, and he's
John
stuck in bureaucracy. No fighting for him.
And then with the guy
Is
Gardner.
he shady? Or not?
No.
Nah, Oberon's a good guy.
Oh, he's a good guy, yeah. He's good.
It just
Do you know
it
what's
seems
funny?
a bit shady that he's...
No, it's just because
It seems like he's a bit in cahoots with...
Like Oberon's like, he's really obviously took that remark. Look at the corpse. Look at him, he's like having a go there.
Yeah, and
He's
then he
like,
gets
"Whoa."
flung like a dwarf.
Yeah, it's good. And his line is good at that, but it never fails. Put more than two of them in the same room together and they start fighting. It was this came at a good time for me because it was superheroes, it was Justice League, but it was also being a bit, it was starting to acknowledge it's all a bit daft, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
all daft.
Yes.
So, it was perfect for me. I was kind of getting a bit fed up with the superheroes, and this was just ideal because it was
It's
being a
funny.
bit satirical.
That's the Justice League that I associate with most though. So this wasn't strange for me because I don't know if it was maybe just at the time that it finished or what, but Death of Superman wasn't long after it, was it?
1993, wasn't it?
That was
Yeah.
like a year later or something.
And
Yeah,
the Justice
something like
League that come to aid Superman in that and end up falling
Some
is
of
this.
these
This
cars.
is-
Booster
yeah,
Gold
Blue,
is there.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle, yeah.
Guy Gardner's one of them in particular that falls to Doomsday.
Yeah.
He saves some little kid that's like idolising him. So that was actually one of the first.
What, you mean he dies?
I don't think he dies. I think he just gets
Severely
absolutely pummeled. Yeah. Same with Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle gets
In Doomsday? What's that?
the entity that comes up against Superman and kills him.
Yeah.
Alright.
I've got that.
But that was
Bring it
the
next
first
time.
time I ever saw.
I
kind
wouldn't
of the
like
Justice
to. I
League.
wouldn't like to have read a story where Superman gets killed.
That was my first ever.
God, I
It's
had
one
a
of
problem
my
in the
first graphic
Superman
novels.
film when he gives up his powers and gets punched in that trailer.
There's cartoon versions. There's a cartoon version and
Yeah.
a film.
No,
with
it's
that.
film, but
Yeah, it's
it's
animation film.
Superman.
Yeah.
David will know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I felt that
Oh, wait.
when I watched that.
Yeah.
In the original Christopher
Oh,
Reeve
yeah,
one.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
You know when he gives up his powers
Yeah.
Again, recent, yeah.
and he gets punched in the
Yeah.
diner, whatever it is.
Yeah, like the real Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, the real
Yeah, the riddle was, yeah.
Yes.
But then he meets the same guy again at the end of the film and teaches him a lesson because he has his Superman powers back.
Yeah, I liked that. That was one for the
One for the team.
10-year-old boys like me. Or 8, however old I was.
But yeah, it's just it's very strange because I remember seeing this front cover and seeing it as Justice League International and being like, but that's the Justice League. I never ever understood. It took me a very long time to realise that the Justice League of America was sort of the original kind of team, and then seeing them and thought, oh,
Because
right, they were meant to be the B characters.
Because it was Justice League, then in episode when they become Justice League International, then Justice League Europe appeared, and then they changed the title to Justice League America.
Yep, and yet he was like
And then you had the two of them.
He was like my first Green Lantern. He would have been so good. The first guy I would have seen. It's just really strange. It just
not to spoil it, but how to maybe tease it. It's got a certain tone, and there's humour, and you know all the characters, and you know what they're like.
Yeah.
And then as it goes on later, there's a very big storyline where shit gets real. It's fucking serious. Right, and they've got to.
Do they drop the humour at that point? Or?
No, but the thing is, they still keep up the humour.
Right.
So it's like things are going on, terrible.
But the still
like guy flies in, hey, I'm here, blah blah, yeah, I'm great, blah blah. And it's like, and it all just, oh shit, gets damn real, and it's like one of the best issues. It's like unbelievable. Yeah, and you can see, God, they were even so clever. They kept a certain tone, knowing they were going towards. They were going to punch it in the face.
That's pretty. Oh yeah.
I whispered that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was shocking.
That
when
was-
you read
that
that
was
was like,
brutal.
oh my god, brutal.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
Guy
the-
Gardner.
He is one of those characters that you absolutely from the very first page you go, what a wanker.
Yeah.
He behaves like one, and you say that, but you know what? You love it because it's the end of comics, and it's what he makes
What's
the
the
older.
criteria for becoming a Green Lantern?
Well, I read up on his character. I think the
Isn't there
ring
something
went
about
for
it
2
finds
people.
you?
The ring went for 2 people. One person got it, and Guy Gardner was really angry about it. But somehow I can't remember how he managed to get it himself. But the ring chose him.
Probably punched them or something and took it from
Someone
them.
threw it at him.
Yeah.
No,
I think
you
this-
have to show no fear. That was the main criteria at that point.
Right.
To be fearless.
And to be fair,
And he's fearless.
He is
He's a
fearless,
wanker.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
fearless,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a complete ass.
Right, yeah.
And because like
I think
that.
if it was any other criteria,
No, that,
Unless
well,
it
at
was-
that time was that.
Yeah,
and,
now
he got
and
made
he
up to a
was.
bastard.
If you had to be nice, you wouldn't have done.
No, good. If you had to be like
Now
good
it's,
in the heart, is different to completely fearless.
I mean,
isn't
there's
it?
a point later on when he changed his character and he behaves nicey. Then he goes, I think
Oh,
one of the
that's
characters, I
what I
can't
mean,
remember
yeah.
who says that, and I say, I think I prefer the old guy Gardner.
So did the reader.
So they say,
And
what?
another character says, "Oh, I'd heard about his head injury, but I didn't realise it was that bad."
Yes.
it's
It's just.
it's like the criteria now is something like it's kind of like Thor's hammer a wee bit. You need to be worthy and all
Yeah.
this jazz, but then it was like Nando said, it
Yeah,
was
they-
just no fear.
Yeah,
because fear was the ultimate enemy with
Yeah.
the yellow rings.
Certainly at that time, I mean, they changed the goalposts every now and then, obviously. But
Yeah,
certainly at that time
they've
was
changed it.
he showed no fear, be
Yeah.
fearless.
And
Even
he's definitely fearless. He just goes in for everything.
even after getting knocked out by Batman, he wakes up and he plots getting him back.
Yeah, in his head, but he'd
Yeah.
never actually do it. He'd probably get up and
He's fearless with lasses and all, because there's a bit where they all get knocked to the ground and he has a quick on the Black Canary. She's
Yeah.
like, just because we've been like knocked to the ground, don't think I didn't notice it. Like you had your hand all over me, whatever. He's a proper chancer, isn't he?
he keeps making passes at her and everything as well. The whole
Black
first
Guy
issue.
really hates him.
Yeah.
Really.
Do they, even if it is a spoiler for me, do they end up getting it on?
No, Black
No.
Canary leaves, doesn't she?
No.
Right.
No, Guy Gardner only has eyes for one girl.
Who's that?
You're gonna have to read it.
Oh, will it be revealed?
You're gonna have to read
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're gonna reveal.
You get some good storylines out of it.
Oh yeah. And you're thinking about you reading it out. How the heck Really, it's the most odd couple, but yeah.
You know, I've got Green Lantern comics from the late 70s, 10 years before this, and one of them, Guy Gardner's mentioned, but it's not in any kind of negative. Like
No,
it's
because
like,
he was there.
he's like, he was like a good guy. He must have
It's
been.
like he did the short list for
Yeah.
the selection, but he never was the
I
first
think
time.
this must have been Giffen and J.M.DeMatteis' idea to have him be a dickhead. I think
Was
they-
that
Yeah.
the first time he kind of?
Well, this was the first time I really read about him, apart from a mention. And the
Yeah.
mention in the old one, it was like they were speaking about him. Like
Right.
somebody says that, oh, well, that's Guy, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, he's a good guy, you know.
When I was a kid, I kind of got the impression that Green Lanterns were a bit like Doctor Who, where occasionally they'd replace them. You know, like Earth's
I
rep
never understand why.
went from being Hal Jordan to this other
yeah,
guy,
I
and
said
then
never. How come there is a guy? Because there was
Uh-huh.
John Stewart as well.
Well, John Stewart was before that.
Kyle
He's the
Rayner.
substitute guy when Hal falls in the bath or something.
Is it?
There's some study where Hal Jordan fell getting out of the bath. And something needed to happen, so it went and got John Stewart. Now, I don't know how
Well,
Guy Gardner
but-
comes into it.
That's
was
the best. That's the genius.
Green Arrow,
of it.
Green Lantern comic by Neil Adams.
Right,
That period,
yeah, yeah.
and that's when John Stewart is a Green Lantern as well.
Yeah,
Appears
yeah,
there.
that's right.
As
Yeah,
well
I
as
understand
Hal
that,
Jordan.
yeah.
But I don't know why.
I don't know why
Because in
Guy-
there, because in the sector, whatever number it is, because there's all divided sectors. The Earth has Hal Jordan, John Stewart,
Yeah.
Guy Gardner, then
Yeah.
later on Kyle Rayner,
Kyle Rayner, yeah.
Oh, Kyle Rayner.
and goodness knows.
Goodness
No,
knows
there's
who
more
else.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all more. Because there's a girl, there's the Muslim
a Latino.
guy.
Is there a Latino?
No, there's no Latino at the moment.
Not yet.
Maybe we are not worth it.
Maybe it
There
was,
will be soon.
was maybe after Crisis. Was it maybe like Hal was off Earth, so there was a need for another lantern or something? I don't know.
You
Because
know,
there
what was-
is,
you know, just to repeat it,
But
what was
yeah,
great
yeah,
about
so-
this series was, you know,
Yeah,
you would think about some of that for a bit and then go, who cares? And you would just carry on reading and enjoy
Yeah.
it.
You will be.
Wow.
I mean, there'll be a crossover the Millennium. Okay, whatever.
Yes,
And there'll
yeah.
be the crossover with the Suicide Squad, and you will just keep going. And so what?
That's good. I like
To
the
me,
sound of that.
Njord,
Independent of.
Njord,
Not-
Esplanade,
He is.
Knee Smasher.
Yeah.
His full name.
He comes into it in that millennium.
He's a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like a dog. You know?
Oh yeah, they've got some weird Green Lanterns, haven't they?
He's
Incidentally,
good
I'm
dog.
reading
Yeah, we'll
this
not
just
say
now.
anymore if you've not read it.
I'm reading
He
this.
comes into this.
He comes in issue 10 or something. Oh, no, yes.
Oh, what's that?
Formerly known as
A
the Justice
few
League.
years ago, they decided to do
Do you know what? It was
a limit series.
12 years ago now. I'm sure it was
Wow.
2003 or something.
Well, a few years ago. I don't know what year it was. 2003, 2004, yeah.
Well,
Wow.
They
Kind of
they
a-
got the same team, Giffen, Maguire, and they pick up the characters and the
same
same
kind of
jokes.
cover to start it.
And
Yeah.
I'm just reading now this. As
Kevin
well.
Maguire.
But there's-
Is it funny?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Is it?
It just kind of
Absolutely
picks up. Like, you
I
know,
liked that
15
you
years later.
suggested this and that somehow we all had to read it for today. It was like homework.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable homework.
Yeah.
Do you remember this one?
Like a comics reading club in a way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, let me have a
Oh,
go.
when he goes here, and I say, it's just this is just a telephone conversation, and it's Blue Beetle and
Where should I
Or-
start?
well,
Here.
around about there, yeah. He's trying to phone the Justice League,
Alright.
well, they're not called the Justice League, but they're trying to phone them, but he forgets the number. So he goes and says, well, I know who to phone. I need the Batman phone. I'll phone Oracle. So he phones Barbara Gordon with Oracle.
Right.
And then he tries to explain that Captain Atom has been injured and there is a complicated situation because he's in a hospital, but they're going to take him away. There is radioactivity, blah, blah. And he's losing his nerves. And in the conversation, Barbara Gordon, Oracle, is trying to get all the sense, the important things, but he's not able to keep it calm and collected. And it's just hilarious. You just...
This became a trademark, didn't it? This kind of repeated layer over a page, and it would be like heads, and they'd be
And they
looking,
could-
and one's
yeah.
reacting to this, and the other one's like, oh, what?
But the dialogue,
And
is the
it's
dialogue
super
is
funny.
just what it's just.
It was a good sell.
Super Buddies Hotline.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? Super Buddies, yeah.
They were
Or
kind of
Super Friends.
super friends. Super, yeah, they did the advert of Super Friends.
It looks good.
Yeah.
So I'm reading that. It's really funny as well.
Who did the artwork?
It's Kevin
Kevin
Maguire.
Maguire as well. Yeah, it's the same team.
By this time, though, we've got
Same colour.
computer colouring going on.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
the
say, because
That
it
was a
looks...
difference. Yeah, that was a big difference.
It's not just the computer colouring, he's
Although-
he's kind of changed his style a wee bit as well.
I think
Looks
the
like they've
inker.
been
different
reinvented
inker,
from
isn't
this angle.
Perhaps like for the inker.
Oh,
it's-
I don't think it's gone too much the other way though. What do
No,
you
you can
think?
still recognise
Oh, yeah,
it's him.
There you go. There's
I mean, the
Bill
colouring.
Batson and then...
It doesn't seem to be too.
It's not as, yeah, it could have been more over
It could
the
be
top.
worse.
But then again, this was 13 years ago.
Oh yeah, true.
So
True.
2003, the
Yeah.
computer colouring, they're only just starting to...
It kind of does look a
Play
bit
them.
like Fables and stuff. Was that
Yeah.
around the same time, Fables ish? It's kind of got that
yeah.
look about it.
You know, with the Al Gordon talking in the ink, and it was... When it gets on later, they used to... They got in like guys like Mike McCone and all that to do different pencilers anyway. And they would
Yeah, because
notice...
they had Steve Lillo, they
Yeah.
had Mike McCone,
Adam Hughes.
they
later
had
on.
Adam Hughes, Bart Sears was doing Justice League Europe, they had Bill Willingham, at least he did an annual or two.
He did a few annuals.
Or a few
the
annuals,
first annual was good with the Joker in it.
That's right, that's
That's
that's Bill
good.
Willingham who
Is it,
then
is it an extra
and he
sized issue?
and the Bill
Yeah.
Willingham he is in Fables
Yeah.
as well, so he's
Ah, so yes.
Does he write it? Oh.
no, he's the artist.
Yeah.
He's the artist. So,
What
and
was
Steve
the-
Lealo as well. He's done some issues of the series, and is it Apocalypse Now? Yeah.
What is that?
But the face.
That's Nord.
Not her. I mean, that
no,
thing
That's
there.
Nord.
That's Nord.
Nord.
Yeah, you'll
That's
get
the- that's the-
you'll get to know Nord.
The dog alien Green Lantern.
You
I love
have
that.
to be a fan of
I
that,
love
can you?
Nord.
It's not that bad. It looks more like alien-like. So it's alright.
Yeah.
I just love elongated. man.
Close up
I
of
can't
his
wait
face.
to get to that point.
I think it's great that you're going to read on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to read that.
Merchandise.
Yeah. Well.
Would you say this is one of your favourite series? then?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I must have reread it 4 or 5 times, since it's been out. Just sitting around, It's a great one for when you're sick. When
Right,
you're off
yeah.
in bed, sit and read 10 issues of Justice League. Brilliant.
I might have to get some.
Do you know what? You get they're in cheapo bins and everything now.
Oh
In fact, I saw the
The
first
Lotus.
issue in a box, a cheapo box last week, number 1. And it was one of those I almost wanted to buy it because
Jesus.
even though I had it,
Yeah.
I just put it
I
back
still
in.
get the
You
Delos.
felt sorry for it kind of being
Yeah.
in there.
Well, it's funny because a lot of the things that were like hot items in the 80s, I was in Deadhead last week in Edinburgh and there was a box on the floor and somebody's obviously just, after 30 years, got rid of their stuff, and it was all like stuff from the 80s, Nam 1 and, Man of Steel 1 and Justice League 1.
No, that's Michael Golden.
It was all just sitting there,
Fantastic stuff.
no longer.
What, they're not worth much?
Might not be worth, but I mean,
Depends who you're selling to, doesn't it?
this is
Then
like
goes
anything
Superman.
else. Is it worth to you?
No, it's
someone.
Brian
To me, for
It's
example,
like 80s.
the Justice League comics, the loose comics, I have at my mom's house. To me, they are
Precious.
Oh yeah.
precious.
Yeah.
Because those are the first ones I bought, and there is the smell of it.
course,
there is
yeah.
the
The memories.
articles that they put there. Because those are the ones I bought from the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
So some of them I remember which shop or region I bought it from.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that. It's all the memories. It's all the nostalgia connected to it.
Do you know
But to another person, it might not be worth that money, but.
Like me and
no.
this month when I've gone through
But
my
this
old
comics,
days
this series, as they've said, you can reread it
Yeah.
every year.
Enjoy it.
You can read it once a year. It's one of those comics you can. I enjoy this, and I enjoy, although it's not from DC, although nearly the same time, Excalibur, Chris Claremont, Alan Davis.
Yeah.
I enjoy read that as well. Not as funny as this, because it's not so much about humor.
Do you know,
Excalibur.
there's
Excalibur.
one thing.
Excalibur, I like the sword, yeah.
There's one thing
Is that
I want to
funny?
say about this. There's one thing I want to say about this,
Mhm.
and I've just thought and remembered it.
Yeah.
The time this was coming out, to read it now is different. Because this was like 1987. And it was like another 12 years or something before you were starting to get things on telly like Buffy. And they were starting to talk and be... And I thought, oh, this is like Justice League. I used to read this and think, if this was on telly, people would be amazed.
Ah,
watching this
right.
every week.
How well written
It's so
it is.
funny, it's so clever. And now Buffy is up with date.
Cracking.
So anyway, yeah.
But I remember when
Yeah,
that
but
was
that
well
stands
ahead.
a test of time.
And later
course,
on, they
yeah.
were saying, "Oh, there's gonna be a TV series. We're planning to do a TV series to all the."
Well, they did a film of it. Remember? Did you see that?
Did
I never saw the film.
They made a Justice League film and like
Yeah,
A
I've seen
proper
still
film,
pictures
people.
of it,
yeah, and it's like these guys. It's based on this.
Wow.
including the
it
Martian.
sucks big time.
Is it really
It's
bad?
awful.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so bad. But it's these guys
I bet
like
you can't even
people.
find it now. Nowadays.
I'm sure
It's
you
probably
will.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube.
somewhere.
I've
Yeah,
got still
YouTube.
photos of it. The Martian Manhunter looks.
Oh, is that
Interesting.
like the big foam?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Yeah, I've
Justice
seen
League
that.
film based on.
Have you seen the film?
No, I've seen Martian Manhunter because
Is
his
it
the
really?
forehead is like out to about here and it's a big green foam.
Is it
thing.
really shit?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
watched. If you want to talk about shit, comic films. I watched that. I didn't even know that there was until a few years ago when I was reading a few Swamp Things and they did a couple of Swamp Things
Yes,
films.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
It's got that guy in it who's quite a famous actor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can't remember his name. It's like a
But it's a hard one to pick to do back then, given what you were trying to do with this.
Yeah, they made it.
Green.
They effectively just made it like a Schwarzenegger action film, but with Swamp Thing. You know, it's just,
The worst of it, there's a few of those films. Now we are deviating a little bit, but there's a few of those films at that time that you can watch now and have a night with the guys and a few beers, and really you're gonna have a laugh.
Yeah.
A lot. There's one about Nick Fury with
Oh,
David
Yeah.
Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
and it's just hilarious.
Agent of
Right,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's so
That
bad.
sounds like a good idea for a social dude to
Yes,
sit around
it's-
and watch a really bad
Oh, it's
crap
Yeah.
superhero or comic adaptation.
Mystery Science.
because
Theater.
yeah, we should do that one night. We could get the Fantastic Four by David Cronen. No,
the fucking.
Yeah, the one where
No.
Thing looks more convincing than the modern one.
what's the name of the director? I can't remember.
How old
Oh,
is it?
Corbin.
Corbin, yeah.
Richard Corbin.
Richard Corbin and no,
Roger
Roger Corbin.
Roger Corbin. That's it.
Yeah, he's an
Steve
artist.
Trevor.
Richard Corbin.
Steve Trevor.
Steve
yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Rogers.
Sorry. What year is this Fantastic Four?
It was
Like,
Late
yeah,
90s.
there was a
It was
The
like
one with
93 or
there was a
94.
cinema. No, it's not with Jessica Alba. No,
No,
it's
it's
before
like
that.
that.
It's awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible. They did it because they were running out of time to keep the rights.
To use the rights.
So they had to do a film. It was awful.
I mean, Roger Corman's known for the like really majorly low budget films. What's his company?
He's
again?
well known for the majorly low budget.
I'm talking like
Those
Roger
fantastic.
Corman. Is that it?
Roger Corman, that's the one. The Fantastic Four, Roger Corman.
1994.
Then you need to have.
Oh, is it unreleased?
Yeah, it never actually came up.
Oh, right. That's maybe why I have no recollection of it.
Nick
So-
Fury with David Hasselhoff and
Oh!
the Star Wars Holiday Special.
That thing is terrible.
Exactly.
The
We don't-
cartoon is good in the middle.
Yeah.
Boba
Fett. First
yeah.
appearance of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's a good cartoon. It's fun.
Doctor Doom looks more
Jeez,
convincing.
it's even just the music from Battle Beyond the Stars. You remember Battle Beyond the Stars? 1980. Like Robert Vaughn was in it.
No.
George Papard. Old Hannibal Smith was in it.
Vaguely, but
It's
I
John Boy
struggle to
Bolton.
picture it in my mind.
Wow,
It's
this-
a bell.
Oh, wow. Oh.
How bad was that?
Yeah, it's before CGI. So it's all like
The costumes are really good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Thing is better than the modern
Yeah.
ones.
In a way, isn't it? The thing's not too bad, actually.
Yeah, he's better than the modern ones. I've not seen the Human Torch properly.
There's been no dialogue at all.
No.
Are such things as dreams are made on?
Fantastic Four.
You able to get the Justice League film on there?
Wow.
Apparently it's New Concord.
This.
There you
Justice
are,
League
it's
of
there.
America.
Oh,
there you go. There you are.
It's kind of that Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon. They did a Justice League International
Yeah.
episode. Did you see
I've
that?
not seen that episode. I've seen a few of them.
Yeah.
Cause some of them are really light-hearted, and they throw in all sorts of ideas
Yeah.
in there.
They had the J.M.DeMatteis wrote it. He wrote that episode of the cartoon.
Have you seen Young Justice? That had
I never liked
a lot of the characters. It had the episodes with Captain Marvel.
So
That's the one I like. That tune, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
He's made this trailer.
Somebody just made this.
The music's from the cartoon series,
Is it?
which
Yeah.
is much better.
That's Flash, is it?
Yeah, Flash.
That's Ice on
Green Lantern.
It's fire. Wow. The atom.
The Atoms in Channel 5. I did watch this on Channel 5.
That's nice. Lantern. Oh yeah. And it's not Guy Gardner.
No.
Green
Fire.
She was called Fire, and Green Flame. Two different names.
Yeah.
I want to see the one with the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
Oh, there he
yes.
is.
Yes, John Jones.
I remember that. And them all standing there.
Good stuff.
No recollection of it.
That was on Channel 5 on Sunday.
Right.
Does anyone remember Hulk versus Thor?
Yes.
The Lou Ferrigno one.
Yes.
Was that Todd McFarlane that was there,
Well, on the show.
accompanying Thor?
Don't remember having it.
Someone was.
Stan Lee was
sure
in it.
No, it was a young guy. I'm sure it was Todd McFarlane, but I could be wrong on that.
I don't remember
Could be.
him being in it.
Anywho,
There you go.
that was
Great
good.
stuff,
With the interval there.
Yeah.
What's everybody been reading?
I brought along some of the other books I have read recently.
Okay.
Godzilla Oblivion carries on the tradition of bringing Godzilla's old foes in new scenarios, or should I say old scenarios revisited, in which they all involve them fighting Godzilla, and then Godzilla ends up tearing them apart. There is a human element to it. There's scientists that have got through to another dimension, and all Godzilla's enemies are getting through there.
Look at it.
Well,
This.
Oh, yeah, Mecha
It's like a
Godzilla,
massive
Mecha
man
Godzilla.
in a suit. They do them to make them look as if they're still men in suits.
Yeah.
I have to thank Nando for this.
I like
You
King
did me a
Ghidorah.
really good favour when you came over, and yeah, King Ghidorah's
King
cool.
Ghidorah with the three
King
heads.
Ghidorah.
And
If
then
you're-
one of them, the head got chopped off, and it was a robot head.
It's happened
in the
here.
middle. Yeah.
It's happened in so many comic variety
That was
versions.
great.
But 1993, King Ghidorah versus Godzilla is a fantastic film, and
Yeah.
sadly, for a lot of the time, it got banned in the United States
Sure it
because
is.
a lot of the villains were
Yeah.
American, even though they all wanted to star in the film.
That is
Like
quite
three
crazy.
heads, and they cut it off, and then you've got a robot head.
So I've got to
was
thank
mad.
you, because when
It was time travel and everything.
when you brought those comics over, one of the ones I got was Savage Dragon, and after reading that,
What
I
was
got
that?
this.
What was the name of this
It's
one?
on a
Like,
fact.
where King Ghidorah got his head cut off,
Well, they call him Mecha King Ghidorah.
and there was time travel and everything.
That's Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, 1993.
was
That's
mad.
the one that got
That was
banned
really
in the
good.
States, and it was so good. You've got to watch it 2 times at least, so you understand the
got to.
plot. You've got to, and then sometimes not even that. You've got to watch it a 3rd time so you
Yeah.
understand what's going on, because
Really
the plot was really
Enjoyable,
complicated.
Yeah, it was mad. It was like back in time, back
Yeah.
and forward. And
And you see Godzilla as a sort of youngster, I suppose.
Mm.
And there's a scene on the
a
boat.
little pub.
it's just
Well,
to be
I wouldn't quite say cub, he's the size of a boat. But the soldiers see him, and one of them makes a reference to, you'll have to tell your kids about it, Sergeant Spielberg.
Savage Spielberg.
I remember that. I did, yeah.
Savage Dragon. Yeah.
Savage
it's good.
Dragon, this is fantastic. I mean, the dragon himself isn't so savage, but his enemies are completely brutal.
Is
So
that,
some of them cannibalistic
that's the
as
beginning,
well.
the beginning of it, isn't it?
That's the very first one.
First of all,
And I've got the second one now, but I've still to read it. This is this is like an unexpected surprise.
I
for
do
me.
have the
I
first 30,
really
40
enjoyed
issues
this.
of it, and I really enjoy it. I know it's been going on.
Mhm. It's
and
ongoing.
it's still
It's still going.
ongoing, yeah, and it's.
That guy looks familiar with
But yeah,
thing
it's-
on his head. Who's that?
Him.
Yeah.
That's the Savage Dragon.
Right.
He's the main character. He's sort of
Did he
comes
start
out
in
there. and you'll
another
know him.
comic or?
I'm not sure where his origins are, but that's the first of the continuous run, his own series. So it starts off with him in the middle of nowhere, sort of without a memory as to his past, and he's trying to decide on where to go from there. So he's made into a police officer, except a very unusual looking one. There he is, there at the start when he's sort of wondering what on earth is going on. I was in the Ahoy comics, and I spotted this Black Science. Comes in, I think, 6 volumes. So I read the first one, and it was different from anything else I've read as well. So I kind of wished I'd brought this. If I found out about this before the science talk we had. But again, it's another one that I've been quite enjoying, and sometimes I'm finding it difficult to know who the hero is and who the villain is and what on earth is going to happen to them
I got that one.
to them later.
It's very good. I've read a couple of volumes of it so far. It's good.
Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, really enjoying it.
This
Batman.
one I have read.
Batman.
Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love the art, I love most of the story, but there's one thing I do have to criticise about it. At one time years ago, seeing Batman's enemies all together was like a rare event. Now they all appear quite often together. In this case, they've been turned into mutant creatures.
Oh, that's cool.
Bane is an elephant. Mr. Freeze is a polar bear. The Mad Hatter looks like a hare. The Joker's a cobra. The Penguin is a penguin. And all sorts of critters here and
You're
there.
gonna have to close that because
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. But
Tommy's suffering with
anyway,
it's alright, breathe in.
the main
Happy
villain,
place, remember?
the main
Come
villain
outside.
is Shredder. It's okay, I've got a page of Shredder.
That's okay.
Ra's al Ghul is also the other main villain in here.
Rings a bell. Who's that again, Ras?
He's like Batman's most dangerous foe. He's
Is he
he's
one of
a
the
polymer.
films?
Yeah, Liam
Oh,
Neeson.
right.
Liam Neeson.
That's it. Yeah.
He's like a Middle Eastern polymorph who found the key to immortality, but he's an environmental terrorist because he wants to return the Earth back to the Golden Age in the medieval times. So he's determined to do anything. He seems to think that Gotham City is the key to this because he wants Batman to be his successor. So you see him in lots of plots. He's been on and off comics since the 70s. And he's without a doubt Batman's most dangerous foe. So he appears in this comic as well.
And he was Irish in Batman Begins.
Yeah. But it's interesting because the Turtles fight against Batman and Batman basically kicks their arses until Splinter comes down to sort of say, well, actually, we're on your side. But there's cameos by a lot of Batman's enemies, and you know, we had all the Batman enemies beside each other for Odyssey. We had them for like against the Joker at one point. We had them all Jokerized, and we had them all turned into Venom and just hooligans. So it's like probably they should have just kept it at a couple of main villains and made it more interesting that way, rather than getting them all at once and then get them all beat again, because they kind of lose their threat scenario there. But the artwork's fantastic.
There is a series that's coming fairly soon in book, and it's Batman Teenage Mutant Turtles animated,
Yeah, the animated series one.
which I've read. This thing actually is very good, and the few reviews I read about it actually, it's a really good book, good story. The art is, is perhaps more basic, not as elaborate as this, but it works really well with the story and the characters.
Paul Dini isn't involved with that, is he?
I really don't know who's
Okay,
involved.
okay.
I only know that I think it's about to come out.
I didn't know
It's
if
ready
he
to
was
be out
involved with that or not.
fairly soon.
But-
That I'm interested certainly in that one. I really want to get that.
I've got to say, out of all these, I enjoyed
Dragon.
this and Justice League.
The first 30,
Both of
40
them.
issues, really good. After that, I got some bits and pieces, but I stopped there.
And it's got-
Because I stopped in Spain and then I moved here and then I got some odd things here and there from Shava's Dragon, but the first 30 I still have them.
This is the one with the savagely brutal ending as well.
Oh, there's a few things going on. There's quite a lot of shocks in this series. I have to say, kudos to Erik Larsen. He's done all of them. He drew and written all of them, and he's done over 200 of them, and it's still going on. And it's still ongoing series. So
of all those Image guys, he's the one that really did want to do a comic every month, his own comic, and he's just done it. Yeah. So
and there's some issues that okay, there's plenty difference here, but certainly he picks up details from Jack Kirby and the big splashes in the design of the characters sometimes, and sometimes in the stories as well. There's homage to characters that Kirby or stories that Kirby did, and yeah.
Not many people realise there's actually a Savage Dragon cartoon series.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was animated as well.
But it's difficult getting your hands on any episodes. I looked at YouTube and they've got I think it's just like the beginning clips and maybe some odd clips here and there. I think it was an adult cartoon, but they don't show enough of it for me to tell. So.
Well, they did the Spawn animated, they did Wildcats animated, they did Savage Dragon animated, so they did a few of them at the time. But yeah.
I read Savage Dragon versus Martial Law because I like Martial Law. That was a good crossover.
Have I read that? I should have read that one.
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah. There was a while
I read it.
Martial Law continued as a bunch of crossovers. There was one with
That wasn't in
A
the
guy in
actual full
Hellraiser.
collection, is it?
no,
No.
none of those crossovers are.
No.
The one with is it Pinhead?
Yeah, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Yeah, that was a good one as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know, one thing I wanted to say in passing, I started saying it, but when they've got different, when Al Gordon inks this, and I remember noticing it at the time, the space stuff, the stars.
He's called Al Gordon.
Al Gordon, that's his name, yeah, the inker. So when
It's Austin, it's not Austin doing some of it.
he did the first issue, but the space looks the same no matter who's penciling it. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Al Gordon's doing all the space work, no matter when he's inking it, he's doing all the stars and everything. Because there's like Ty Templeton draws it, and other guys draw it, and the space always looks the same.
Right.
And you think, oh, so the artist just kind of pencils it in and goes, space or something,
Yeah.
and leaves it for them. So just a wee point that
Nice.
I wanted to throw out there.
Very good.
But I'm
Very
so
well
glad
done.
you enjoyed it and you're
Yeah.
going to read it.
Yeah.
And who knows, we could even return to it if anybody feels like it. I'm always,
It's a good
I
book.
read it
I'd be
quite a few times.
I'd be happy to do that. Definitely. Yeah.
I do want to read it all the way through.
Once everybody's read it in their own kind of pace, that'd be good. Good to
There's
revisit
so
it.
many good bits
Yeah.
that you just want to mention, but you don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Clever plot things
Yes.
that happen.
There's a lot of things going on.
Did anybody else read anything else?
I've just been getting on with my concrete,
Awesome.
enjoying that.
Oh,
I've not really been
Concrete.
reading much, but yeah, been loving it. Even though I've just finished a story that was it's the longest story that I've read of it. The one where they're making a film.
Oh, yeah.
I read that.
Yeah.
Found it a bit in parts, but I prefer this. But he's still just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's good
So
seeing
that's all I've enjoyed. And the emotion of going through and organising my British comics in the past month.
that book you've got. I'm quite jealous about it.
Uh,
Yeah, Van Marble book. It's very nice. Just what a great idea. They've had a bunch of comics lying around and thought, how are we going to sell these? Just stick a cover on them. Stick them in any order.
Stick it in, yeah.
cover.
Just
Yeah,
put them in.
just glue them in.
Just put them in.
It's good.
Have you been reading that?
I was just starting Sandman again from the start. But just on a total whim, I was flicking through all the stuff that I had on my tablet and just went, I'll settle on that. I'll see what it's like. So I started from the start again. Bit different reading it this time around. There's only been about a 1 or 2 year period between last reading it, but
Oh, really?
yeah, just it seems a lot different. I
I've never read it all the way through.
think I'm actually enjoying it more
Mm.
this time around. But just because I'm kind of noticing stuff that I didn't notice the first time around.
References to
Yeah, references to stuff.
cultural stuff that perhaps
the whole first-
wasn't on your radar.
The whole first volume relies heavily on a lot of big DC staple point characters by the looks of things. But no, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of just washing over me a wee bit, but no, I'm enjoying it a lot more the second time around. The first time I read it, I don't think I really took it in. I just looked at everything and kind of went, "Oh, this is great! You know, this is something else that's kind of like Swamp Thing." And it is. Don't get me wrong, but no, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good.
I haven't had a chance to check myself since I sent you guys that email, but has anyone checked that?
The library thing.
Yeah, that website.
No, I saw the email, but I never went
I
into
get the
it.
impression that it's like Discogs, you know, where you
I went on it, but
You know,
I don't. I
you
never
create your own you can upload your catalogue in terms of what you got and go, yeah, I've got a copy of that, and
Or so like a
Then you-
database. It's just,
yeah, and then you
just
can
say,
sell
wow.
it or put it up for sale
Right. Okay.
without it being time dependent
Right.
or paying to list it. So like I've just catalogued all my music on Discogs recently,
Right.
and you know anything that I've said, yeah, I've got a copy of that, then I can just put up for sale if I want to sell it, which is quite handy because if it is like Discogs, it'll be good for kind of getting out of having to price your stuff, because it'll probably be, you'll see what equivalent comics will be worth on that database as well.
Right.
You see
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've got a name in or whatever the different gradings are, it might be handy in that way to take out the...
If you sell in Amazon Marketplace, that works in that way because you need to find the issue and the comic you are selling. So it tells you, then when you find it, it tells you how many of them are in sale and in which condition.
Right.
Although it doesn't do grading condition, but it says, you know, good, very good, like new,
Right.
or new, and then you can see the prices, and then you can decide based on the condition in which bracket of price or you put it on.
Well, I'm going to investigate it further to see what it's like, because I do have some that I want to sell.
No, the only thing with Amazon is there is a fixed fee they take always, and it's a big chunk sometimes. As it goes high in price, you know, it's not so noticeable. But if you sell a comic that is £2 or £3, that is,
Right.
if it's at £2.99, it'll be about £1.50.
Oof.
The Amazon
Yeah.
will keep.
Because Discogs is 8%.
But as you go higher, then the percentage changes.
That's it.
Because there's a fixed element and then there's a percentage,
Right.
and they add it together. So
Oh.
it's a small
I
amount.
think I'll investigate it further
it's
and
big.
see what it's like, because it'll be good to have, if it is like that, being able to list it, and then, because what I've been doing with the records I want to sell, I've taken them out of my collection that I want to keep
That's why
to make room,
I have a big
so that
box.
now the stuff I want to sell is in storage,
Yeah.
so that I can go get it, and I'll be able to do the same with comics, with what I thought, get it back there, get it out where, because it's just like a pile of man stuff. And a study.
So if they do it like that, how do they pay?
How do people
how do they
pay?
pay? And what
Well, for
guarantees do you
example,
have?
on Discogs it's PayPal. Well,
Okay.
no, on Discogs you can say credit card, PayPal, you can
Alright,
accept
so you
money
can
if you
choose,
want to.
okay.
You can choose your own. I've
Yeah,
only gone
that's
for
fine.
PayPal
Yeah, PayPal
because
is
it
great.
just keeps it easier.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a certain fee associated with PayPal as well, but it's,
Okay,
you know.
that's alright.
Before I forget, there was a shop I went into. I wanted to mention when I was staying in Dunfermline. I went into a place called Little Shop of Heroes.
Okay.
Really nice place. It's not small, but they had everything well spaced out in the walls. They had all the new comics up on sort of slatted out racks up on the wall. They had everything split into trade DCs, trade Marvels, and then independents as they were going round, and they had all the back issues separated as best they could into boxes in the middle of the floor. and then had all the games and everything up beside the desk. And just the small bit of wall that they had like toys and stuff like that, and a couple of things in
Was there
cabinets.
anyone else in when you went in?
No, it was just myself. I went on a lunch break just to go and check it out. I came away with something though.
Dunfermline, where's that? Exactly.
Just before Edinburgh. So if you were coming along the dual carriageway on the way to Edinburgh, there is a turn off for Dunfermline just before the bridge. Kind of thing.
If you're on the motorway, you might notice the very large Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
It's just by there.
Right.
Yeah.
I picked up a good. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I picked up a good bargain in HMV. I got the. I don't know if you guys remember the first Avengers cartoon series. Not the one that's replayed on satellite TV now, but the one that was on a wee while ago. The entire series for $9.99.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's the best.
One I really
That's
enjoyed.
a really good one.
So I've got the whole series on DVD.
That's
like
the
8
best
volumes.
That's the best one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's a really good one.
HMV. I got it yesterday for $9.99.
It was the big sale yesterday, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was the big manager sale yesterday. I forgot about
No, I'm pretty sure
In
it's
Dundee?
it'll be Dundee. It might still be the same price now.
that. Right, I went
Is it-
past yesterday and they had big massive banners out saying the big sale, blah blah blah. So
Have a wee look. It's in the. They've got like a row for superhero stuff now, DVDs and graphic novels, and
Graphic
all sorts of
novels.
extra things like cups and mugs and keychains and key rings, that sort of thing.
Free adverts, eh?
yeah, I know.
What's it called again?
Little shop of heroes.
Little shop of heroes.
That was good. No, it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning because it was a nice place. They didn't have a bargain bin. I did say them.
Oh, get a 50 pence bin, even better than 20 pence bin.
I did say, but I think it might just be the size of Dunfermline itself. They were like, it wasn't worth it. They did have one in.
Where in Dunfermline is? Where in Dunfermline?
Is it in that mall? Or is it on
No.
the street?
It's on a
It's like
street.
one street, is it? And
Yeah.
There's a mall on it.
It's actually quite close to
like-
the Abbey. It's not that far from the Abbey.
It's like one
So it's
sort
not
of-
far off the main street then?
Yeah, not far off the main street.
Good.
Cool.
Well, on a
Excellent.
smaller scale though.
Oh.
That I saw the trailer for that Valerian.
I was gonna ask you
Oh
about that.
yes,
It
I've
looks
just discovered Valerian and Laureline.
Yeah, it looks great.
You know that name was just made up for that comic, and ever since 1968, so many French girls are now called Laureline, just like Wendy for
Oh.
Peter Pan.
Wow.
Anyway, it looks good. Check out the trailer.
Did you actually like the look of it?
Yeah, I thought this actually looks good because I've only just read the comics.
Does it
Right.
start with
This year?
No.
It sort of goes. No, it looks inventive. You know, it's got colours in it.
Didn't know it was like this.
Jean-Luc Besson.
So it's got loads of colours, loads of wacky aliens.
And it's
What's
Jean-Luc
the
Besson.
story?
Fifth
What's
It's not dark.
Jean-Luc
You
Besson.
know.
Oh, right.
The
Fifth
Fifth
Element
Element.
is cool, yeah.
But there's a running theme going on
They've
that
got
a lot of the
aliens that
ideas
kind of
there are the same as what's in
They're
Star
great
Wars.
aliens there.
You ever notice that? There's a lot of comparison between that and Star Wars.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
Valerian and the City
Let's
of
have a
a
look at it
Thousand
and see what you
Planets.
think, because I think it looks good.
So what is the premise of Valerian?
Well, he's a time traveller, and she's from.
before. It's
Space
they're
temporal
space
agent.
agent guys, and they
Oh.
go through time
And she's a medieval peasant from
and so look at
France.
that from the start. I thought that's good.
This mission is a simple in and out. Agent Valerian will be
And that on
running
the
solo.
beach and everything. I thought it's
Who
good.
wrote it?
I only work with my partner.
Not this, but
I can look at that.
Go.
Which is bad. I don't even started reading it. Well, no, it's kind of started in the 60s and it kept going until about 5 years ago it finished. And it just came out like.
Oh, that's the ship. Same.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
and they
it.
got
It
it.
looks exactly like it.
There's a spaceship, yeah.
Welcome to Alpha. The city of 1,000 planets,
Yeah.
where for hundreds of years every species has shared their knowledge and their intelligence with each other. It's paradise.
I like the song as well because that's like
after centuries of peace and prosperity. An unknown force wants to destroy all we have
Well,
created.
yeah, but first of all, I've actually
Agent
seen them say,
Valerian and Laureline, you have less than
graphics
10 hours to find the threat and eliminate it.
ooh, like wood. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Calling it a graphic novel. Is
Yeah,
kind of
That's
modern.
special. It's very
I've never seen
similar.
that.
Take on it.
I didn't like
Nah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, the flex
I like
one
what
of
the
the
colours
series.
are. That's what's different.
Oh, I forgot this is my song. It's Lucy.
Yeah.
We need the
Sounds
two of you to
terrible.
be the guardians of our future.
They just look like white avatars.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
The difference is that was made decades before Avatar.
The red glasses.
The comic was not
Valerian, trust me.
before Star Wars.
So I see a lot of similarity between that and Star Wars.
Your destiny is in your hands.
I taught him how to do that.
Looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to give that a go. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
They're re-releasing the comics into new volumes, so
Right,
keep
again.
your eye out.
Well, I
Yeah.
just bought the first 3.
Well,
Christmas.
it's the first. It's either the first 4 or the first 5 are in volume 1, which will
Right,
be
okay.
released on 4th of May, I think.
I wonder about Cinebooks doing that as well, because they've been bringing out the whole series for a few years.
Also, it wasn't a mainstream book.
Well, not here. I mean, there it was, yeah.
In Europe was, and in Spain was.
Oh, in Europe, right?
Yeah.
It's a European thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
French.
I've read
okay.
them when I was in primary school.
Mm.
Oh, right,
in the
right.
local library, they had them. It was amazing.
Right,
So I remember I used
it
to-
was
Because I read Tintin Asterix,
French
and then
thing, right.
and then I went to what's this Valerian? I thought,
So it looks good.
when it blows your mind.
And
And
Laureline
it's-
gets her kit off at least once in each story. Sort of. Well, in a lot of stories.
Every now and then, the French public demands sauce
The man's sauce.
with its food.
They want sauce.
They want sauce with the food. Cheers, lad. That was
The
great.
sauce.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Continue to stay up to date with That Comic Smell on Twitter at That Comic Smell. You can also send us any comments or queries at thatcomicsmell@gmail.com. To listen to our previous episodes or to follow us or subscribe, you can reach us at SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. Thanks for listening.